Okay, so back to another video. Today we are talking about this Mavic Pro 2 that I've been having issues with. Now, I've been having this drone for, since the day it came out, probably about 2 years now, and since that day, I never had issues with it until one day something happened. So I had this drone in the water basically, well, kind of in the water, in the rain. It got all wet and soaked. I crashed it 3 times at least, as far as I remember, and nothing usually would happen because it's solidly, can you say solidly? Because it's built, it's solid. It's solid. Okay, let's just say it's solid. Nothing really happens to it. Like if you would remember Mavic 1, the gimbal here, the whole structure was kind of like fragile, and I was always like worried about if it crashes, if it hits something. But this one is super solid. The structure and everything is like hard plastic. Like I'm never afraid something happens unless I crash it into a river or a lake and it just drowned. This drone has been, and it still is, the only drone that I'm basically using, and I can rely on it all the time, no matter if something happens or whatever, because of all the obstacle avoidance sensors and all the features it offers. It's just the best what the drone market can offer right now for my needs, okay? But as you probably read from the title of this video, I've had an issue with it, and it was a big issue. I'm not sure if it's happening with any other drones, but I know it's happening with this drone, and many other users on YouTube and Google reported it. And that finally happened to me. So when I bought this drone, I also bought a second battery. So I got 2 batteries. Each of these batteries are $140 each, plus taxes and shipping and whatever. So that's like 150 bucks. That is a lot. After using for about a year or year and a half, I've noticed one of the batteries, it's not this particular battery, I already swapped it out, but I will put a picture over here how the battery looked like. It started to swell, and it started to swell here at the bottom, but the issue was when you try to put it back into the drone, it snaps in, right? So it'll snap in, but the more you use it and the drone is in the middle in the air, it starts popping out. So this what would happen, like I would fly the drone, it'll come back like this, half of the battery would snap out. So what happens because of this, it can potentially snap out completely from both sides, and it can just, and your drone is bye-bye. Nothing's gonna save it because you don't even know where it is. No warranty will cover it because you can't even find, you can't keep track of this drone. It's not gonna show up in GPS nowhere because it's just gonna pop out in the middle of the air, it's gonna fall, done. That's one scenario. The second scenario, it can straight up blow up in the middle of the air because it keeps swelling and it's in the risk of literally blowing up in the air and catching on fire. That is not cool. That's just not cool with DJI. Good thing is I found the solution. So what I did is I reached out to DJI. First of all, I reached out through online chat and I emailed to one of their customer representative technical support. So the funny thing is they said they have to have the battery in their hands to check out what is wrong with it. So they said, go ahead and ship it. So they said to open the case online and ship it out. So I'm opening the case online and guess what? It says ship everything but not the battery. So they basically saying ship the battery so we can check out what the heck is wrong with the battery. But then when you're trying to open up a case and ship the battery out, they say to not ship the batteries at all with your product. So there is nothing wrong with my drone. There's no point for me to ship the drone, but my battery is, that's what's wrong with it. So I'm like, what am I supposed to be shipping back? Like I'm not supposed to be shipping back the drone. So I went ahead and just freaking shipped the batteries back. 2 of the batteries, they both started to swell. So as soon as they received the batteries, they said it's gonna cost them $295 or something like that to fix them, which is not fixing them, you get it. They're just trying to replace these batteries. They're gonna keep the broken ones. So I'm like, nah, that's not cool. I understand they're out of warranty, but it just, in my understanding, it doesn't mean if the product is out of warranty, you did not buy it to use that product for the warranty time. You do not buy this battery. You do not buy this drone, which is like $1,500, to use it for 1 year that I offer you a warranty. You did not do anything wrong with the drone or the battery. You did not break it or anything. You do not expect your product from such a big company to work for 1 year that I offer the warranty. So that was my argument to them. I said, it's not cool. I understand it's out of warranty. After they asked me to provide them the invoices where I bought the drones from, where I bought the battery from, And luckily I actually bought it from their DJI website, so I simply went to my email and I found the receipts from the order. And I sent them back the receipts and the invoices from the same order from their website. And that was happening during the pandemic, so the response was so slow. And I guess because of the pandemic, but I started talking and emailing back and forth to this guy who was my technical support rep, and he said, we are working on this issue. We already sent it out to our resolution center. We're just waiting for answer from them. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I started to wait, and it's like 5 days passed and nothing happened. So I reach out back and I'm like, hey guy, what's up with my batteries? What's going on? And he's like, nothing's going on. I'm still waiting on my end. And literally 2 weeks passed and I'm like, I don't have the drone. Luckily I didn't have any projects or anything that I had to film because of the pandemic and all that. But I'm like, I need the drone to be in working condition just in case I need to shoot. 3 weeks later, they agreed to ship out the new batteries. So they replaced these for free. They sent out 2 brand new batteries. These are brand new, not refurbished. I was pretty happy and still happy with the outcome of this case. The lifespan of the product should not be the warranty period. That was my main argument. I thought that just was not cool because it's not like this happens to all the other batteries on the market. All the electronics right now on the market are using batteries, and I don't understand what's wrong and what's different with these batteries that they should start swallowing. So in this video I also wanted to point out some research that I did of how to take care and maintain these batteries so they last the longest time they can. Here are some tips and some recommendations from DJI itself so we can use the full potential out of these bad boys. So first of all, and that might be a dumb one, but it's just from top of my head, just don't buy the aftermarket batteries. You don't want to save 50 bucks to have your $1,500 drone in the air, risk it, and who knows what's gonna happen. Just buy the authentic DJI batteries. So that's number one. Another recommendation that DJI actually recommends is to use fully charged batteries when you start flying your drone. That way you avoid any type of errors. And when I start up my drone, I try to make sure all the calibration is done and all the things are up to date, so you're good to go. If you do live in the colder places or you fly in your drone in the winter, make sure your batteries are warmed up. Batteries do not like to be cold, and some of these drones, including this one, will tell you that the battery is cold, and sometimes it will not even let you fly. So make sure that the battery is just warm, so warm it up with your hands, whatever you have, and then just fly your drone after. And another good one is before you actually unplug the battery, if it's on right now, don't just unplug the battery, don't pull it out before you turn it off. So turn off the battery first, then unplug it. Now as far as storing your batteries, and I think it's a big one because I think the biggest reason of my batteries going like that is of maintenance and storing the batteries, especially when I do not use them. Number one, store it in dry and cool place from temperatures 22 to 28 Celsius, which is about 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Basically room temperature, somewhere in the shelf, not in a hot place, not by your window or anything like that. And obviously you don't want to keep it close to liquid, so keep it away from water, and so it's dry and cool. So also DJI recommends not to store the battery on full or low power. So they recommend to actually store the battery at about half charge, so 50%. And it's cool because they have this feature if you turn on your remote where you can discharge your battery down to 50%. So it will discharge itself to 50% so you can store it safely. What they claim is if you store it with a full power and it slowly discharges itself, if you notice that, like I would notice if I don't use the drone for a long time and it was charged all the way up, like right now, right? It's saying 3 bars. So I had it charged at 100%. Over some period of time it discharges itself. So that's not cool. So it will not last as long as it should. So you're supposed to keep it at half charged percentage, about 45 to 65%, and you can tell the drone to discharge the battery, and the battery will do its own thing to discharge slowly to 45-65%. That way it stores to keep the longest lifespan of this battery. Because the problem is if the battery cells are damaged, you cannot be just used again. That's it, you're done. Screwed. Now another point is, kind of sucks, but that is what they recommend, is to discharge this battery to 5% when you take it on the plane. That is because of the safety reasons. Another one is no-brainer, is just like I said, to use official DJI batteries, you should be using official DJI chargers. And then another one kind of tip that I've been using since Mavic Air 1, I've been using this car charger. So every time I go on a trip, as you know, you cannot charge your drone with the USB. You have to have like an actual outlet. So you can save money by buying this and connect this here, and that connects to your car. This charger is pretty cool. It charges your battery. I don't know, every time I would put a GPS to go to the next location, let's say 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever, this battery would be already charged. This is kind of loud because it has a fan inside, because it has to cool down in order to keep charging. But this is pretty cool product to charge your drone in the car. Link in the description. So that is it for me. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos on travel gear, camera gear, travel films. Stay tuned, I post videos weekly. I also drop the links in the description of the official DJI batteries where you can pick them up, so as this adapter that I was telling you about. And until the next time, peace.